Crypto Pirates, welcome to your Discord Syndicate's FN Hangout. It's Friday night. This is your hangout. I am the captain, your Captain RG3, bringing you another Friday night hangout like we do every Friday night ever since Hex has come out and been available in the Adoption Amplifier. So this is a Hexican stream, but it's everybody's stream. Anybody can come. We put the stream link out there so that you can come in, you can pitch your, grievances or whatever. We've started to reformat things a little bit, myself and Wild SJ, and we're putting on a new show that her and I are going to do, and then we're also going to continue to do effing in this style, and we're gonna be tweaking it a little bit here and there, just to help the community understand a little bit more about what's going on PulseChain. First and foremost, we're a Hexican stream. We're all about Hex. We know what Hex is. We know what it does. We know what the code says. It's been up and running for close to 5 years and flawlessly. So we stand behind it 100%. We're watching PulseChain grow, develop, and become the best L1 in the crypto space. We're watching PulseX become a massive force in the DEX world. And we're going to start helping the projects that are coming out on PulseChain to get recognized, to be able to speak about what it is that they're doing. So the project that's coming on tonight, ProjectPi, we've had them on before. I don't have to introduce them. They've done amazing work. Proud of them. Watched them, from when they were just getting ready to launch to their launch to the products that they've been, coming up with as they're developing. With the help of the Atlanta Blockchain Center and Marlin and a lot of the community's gotten behind them, and they've put out a really good product. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But moving forward, I think, I always have to give a disclaimer. I'm going to say hello to everybody in here in just a minute too. I always give a disclaimer, look, if you're taking financial advice or investment advice from people in crypto, you need to be extremely careful. And you need to do a whole lot of research and not just listen to one or two people, or do a little bit of research here, a little bit of research there. You need to do your due diligence, especially if you're putting your hard-earned money into this space. Because why? It is volatile as hell. It's volatile. And people make lots of mistakes and do dumb things. And, oh, yes, it's loaded with scammers too. But I'm going to give most people the benefit of the doubt that they just make mistakes. They don't understand liquidity properly. They don't understand the new chains and bridges and the things that are going on. And so development is hard right now. So if you're getting involved in these things, oh yeah, there's a lot of upside to them, but there's a lot of downside and there's a lot of danger. So buyer beware, you all beware, be careful. Moving it forward in the future, there's a project that we had on here that are really fond of, and it's called the Forge. And the Forge takes projects, incubates them, ranks them, rates them, and gives them a good going through from the community, from trusted community members that have rankings and ratings themselves for doing these rankings and ratings. So I think in the future, what we're going to be doing is running things through the Forge, and projects that want to come on and speak. You need to be vetted by the community first, because to be honest, I'm not the guy that should be looking at code and vetting projects. I know a lot of these people out here. I know people who are capable of probably grifting you, and I know people who are not capable of doing that they just want the best for what's going on. And some of them may not be the most competent coders or builders of crypto projects out there. So just because somebody's good doesn't mean that they've built something that's going to work or last. So everybody be extremely careful, do a lot of research, check out everything. But when you do find something good, then, get behind it and support it. And that's all I can say. So let me say hello to everybody real quick. Well, welcome to everybody. Our first one is Huggy Zeus. Huggy Zeus. I guess that's what it is. I'm sorry. I can't even. I'm halfway dyslexic and you guys' names sometimes. Eagle Owl, what's happening? We have a crypto-friendly Secretary of the Treasury. We shall see. We shall see how that all works out. I'm excited for the things that I'm seeing. But let's keep an eye. Now, if you guys have watched and been watching, I've been talking about, Brian Armstrong being the guy that I think has the most neutral position in all of crypto as far as, he's got a DEX. He's multi-chained. He's stable coined. He's done a lot of good work. Brian Armstrong has, and Coinbase has been upstanding. And hey, look, we all have our problems. We all have issues with centralization, all that kind of stuff. But I think that Charles taking a backseat to the position that he was offered and saying, "Hey, I nominate Brian Armstrong if I was you." I thought that was a stand-up thing to do, and I think that Brian Armstrong would be a good representative. But who am I anyway? Got to have somebody, right? And until Richard comes back, that's about as good as we got, right? So T-Bird, hey, what's up, T-Bird? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hextech 16, bro. I hope all is well. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And howdy to you in Montana. Chris Powell, what's happening? Let's go. Let's go. Let's see here. Red Bull Green. Let's see. Somebody is asking a question about Rack. Does Rackham not understand that 1 million spent on a sex listing now is better than after a 150x? Well, I mean, yes and no. You're putting it on deaf ears right now because there's not a lot of people excited. Yeah, crypto's moving, but there ain't a whole. We're not full momentum yet. When you get full momentum, and then like everybody's looking at crypto, then I don't know. You're right, and you could be inaccurate because it might be better when more eyes are upon us when this thing is going absolutely nuts, right? But I do agree with you. I think that, yeah, but then there's another side of it too. So Sandy Beach, my lady, welcome. Hope you're feeling well. Melv Tony, what's up? The Prosperity Project. Oh, okay. Go get some rest, Sandy. Glad to see you at least stop by. Thanks. Hey, Crypto CPT. What's up? What's up, homie? And 1 million 150 equals 6,667, bro. Well, okay. You done the math. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like maybe just a little too early to pull the trigger on, getting eyes on it. But again, having it there when the people start looking too is good. So I don't disagree with you, but that's, it's kind of like a 6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other situation. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, same to you, bud. Let's see. All right, everybody. Well, good to have everyone here. Thanks for coming. And we're going to open it up after I sit down and talk with ProjectPi here for a minute. But without any more time wasted, ladies and gentlemen, from ProjectPi, my friend Van. What's happening, Van? How you doing?
What's up, Captain? All is well. How you been?
I am fabulous. I am fabulous. Doing really well. Can't complain. Holiday season's up. Bull market's up. We're starting to happen. About to hit 100K Bitcoin, man. Woo. One of those things that was thought never to happen, right? And here we are, right at the prefaces of it. Might even happen this weekend. So, yeah, man, everything's great. How about you? What's been going on with you?
Man, everything's prolific, man. I'm good. Family's good. The team is good. We're
Switches.
just building, cooking, just getting ready for mainnet and just getting the people excited.
Nice. How close are we? Are we still keeping it close to the vest, or
Yeah, really at this point, it's just we're waiting for our last and fourth audit. We've been in testnet for a while now. Just make sure we're audit, make sure everything's good to go. But once we get those contracts back and there's no bugs, full steam ahead. So hoping to hear back something next week. So we will see.
nice? So all the other audits that you've had, everything's been clear, good, going back and forth, all that kind of good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Right on, right on. So for the new people here, why don't you go ahead and first give us the 5-minute elevator pitch on what ProjectPi is, what you guys have done, what you guys have going on, what's about to launch, and what's coming up in the future here.
Yeah, sure. So before I do that, I know Chris was actually on the stream. So just to give a little bit of background about me, again, my name is Vandel or Van or the Connector on X. My background is in computer science. Was born into this. My father has been a network engineer for over 3 decades. Email address older than me. Built my first computer at 2. So when it comes to hardware and infrastructure, has a sweet spot in my heart. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. I was a data engineer at Intuit MailChimp doing Web 2 infrastructure. And I love the blockchain technology. Got into it by 2017 because of video games, then found out about the technology. And when I was an undergrad, ended up being the blockchain president at my university. And then that's where I met Tarek and met the ABC and met Chris, and we're full steam ahead. And it's funny, a lot of people don't know this, but Chris and I studied at the same university, Georgia State University. My background's in computer science, like I said previously. Chris is in physics, but I would want to say, wow, this was probably 7, 8 years ago. I'm really into cars, and I saw this beautiful red old school Honda Prelude 86, and I was looking at it, and I put a note on there saying, "Nice car, bro," and just going on with my life, just doing what I'm doing. And then years later, I got introduced to Chris at the Atlanta Blockchain Center from some of the OG members. And then I had told Chris to come over to one of my shops where I get my stickers done. And lo and behold, he had saw a sticker. He was in the Honda Prelude Club, and we started asking questions. And that note that I put on the car was actually Chris's. So it's almost like fate, like I was meant to be. So that's a really cool kind of back end story. But enough of me. So essentially, ProjectPi is a simplified node infrastructure and liquid staking protocol for PulseChain. If you know what liquid staking is, it means we're actually solving the capital inefficiency to where with traditional staking, you are locking up your Pulse, but you cannot touch it. And with that, we're also cutting half the validator fees. So if you are a solo validator on PulseChain, you need 32 million Pulse. On our protocol, you only need half of that, which is 16 million. We did do a early staking pre-seed round where we showed product market fit. We have about 1.9 billion Pulse locked up in our protocol. And the cool thing is for the incentive, the first 100 people can actually be a validator on our protocol for only 8 million Pulse, or 1/4 the price. With that, we've kept been building and innovating. And, a lot of projects are doing awesome stuff, but we didn't want to just be just another liquid staking protocol. So we went to IRL PulseChain events when it's, when you guys came out to ABC, we going to the cruise, going to Vegas, going to Vancouver, going to New York, and all these cool things. We want to make sure that our protocol matched the community. So the interesting and cool thing about what we built, it is one of its kind, and we want to bring that to PulseChain. And I will now state those things. So one, our token is not just the ERC20, it is a ERC404 token. And what does that mean? It is fractionalized NFTs to where it's hybrid of an ERC20 and an ERC721. So it's fractionalized with the token and the NFT. And a lot of normals are like, well, what's the value of an NFT? I can just right click save. Like I have to put it on the marketplace like OpenSea and sell it and wait. Well, we've actually coined a thing called liquid NFTs to where we solve that. Why? Well, since we are the very first LST, a liquid staking token under ERC404, and it's backed by our token, PPY, ProjectPi Yield, which is our governance utility token, it's matched with that. So hypothetically, if PPY is $1, you need 100,000 PPY. Pi 3.14, that is the number, is 314 million tokens. So that means for every 100,000 tokens, you get one NFT. So there's only 3,140 tokens. But the interesting thing that we did is if you stake that NFT, you actually gain additional yield with fees that are being generated on our protocol. So what we basically solved is one, capital efficiency. Two, even if you are a liquid staker, and we've been playing around with testnet, numbers are looking about 3 to 6% of APY. And if you have that NFT or 100,000 PPY as a liquid staker, you'll be getting APY very similar to solo validating, if not more, which is awesome. We also have burning mechanisms in our token, right? So for the early stakers who did the 90-day campaign, thank you for the support. But unfortunately, if you did unstake, your PPY got burned. So because of that, when we launch on mainnet, there's only going to be 31,027 NFTs, what makes it scarce for the supply and demand. So we have a lot of incentives with that. And some stuff that we're also clicking for you guys, because we like to build and innovate. If you are active on our Twitter, you kind of maybe have seen it that we're going to be partnering with other protocols, right? We're hyper focused on PulseChain, but we want to bring and siphon as much liquidity from other chains as possible back to PulseChain. So we've actually created our token to be very modular because of the ERC 404, meaning if someone partners from any chain, whether that's Ethereum, Base, or anything that's EVM compatible, as long as they hold that 100,000 PPY, right, to get the NFT and stake it, we can partner with them, and then we can actually bring more liquidity. And another thing that we're building out, which will take some time, but actually is going to be, well, now you can actually use any ERC20 token to become a validator on our protocol. Really? So that's pretty bullish. So if you have Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, when we build that out, all you need is the US dollar equivalent to PulseChain. So if 32 million Pulse is $2,000 and half of that is $1,000, you need $1,000 of whatever ERC20 it is. Go in, bridges, and you're a validator in our protocol. Again, we have the full kit. We have the physical validators, one-click executable, comes with the full kit of the screen, the mouse, the keyboard, and the node itself. You're going to click a little button on the screen, and you're up and running, as well as making it super seamless for people who don't want to have the validator. Essentially, all you need to do is that deposit JSON file, you upload it, and you're up and running in seconds. But that's a little bit. And then some other stuff clicking up that I did talk about in RH Max's stream the other day. So if you don't remember, please go to that. But if you want to ask me more questions, yeah, but we're cooking. We're cooking, coach. We're cooking.
Right on, man. No, proud of you guys. You guys are so we're looking close to mainnet here after this last audit's done. You guys are solving problems all over the place. Will you guys be joining us in Vegas this March?
Yes, we will. We will be joining in Vegas, and it's going to be great to go out there. The last event was awesome, but this event, bullish 369. I'm super excited for that one, man.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. The lineup of speakers is the diversity of people that are speaking. I was supposed to speak with one of the treasurers today of a state that was going to come out and speak. So we're still trying to line that up. But we've got a whole gamut of things from lawyers to projects that are just, involved in real estate and you name it. And we have all kinds of different speakers that are going to be there. Everything's taken care of. There's no need to worry about there being a shortfall at the end of this. We've taken care of the venue and everybody's all squared away. Are you guys going to be participating? You can bring a new project to the table, or are you going to participate in the Pitch Fest?
I don't think we're going to participate in the Pitch Fest, but we're actually going to be presenting and talking. So we'll be on the other side and possibly even judge. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, definitely presenting, kind of just talking about what we're doing. By that time, we're going to be on mainnet. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time, and just letting everyone know what we've been building and cooking for almost 2 years now in the bear market.
So what kind of challenges have you guys run into along the way here? I know you probably run into a ton of them, but specifically, PulseChain related, or because you guys have been working in blockchain for a while, not just on PulseChain. Was there significant challenges, or were things easier? What did it look like as you guys were building?
That is a great question. Shout out to the Atlanta Blockchain Center and Starter Labs. That incubation program really make us hone and hyper focus. I would say the first challenge that Chris and I had was early on. We just wanted to, like you talked about, solve so many problems. But just being a team of two and just trying to do everything, supporting over 20 chains, that was a problem. We were spreading ourselves too thin, and we had to hyper focus. So as we are progressing just from infrastructure, starting with Raspberry Pis, that's where our name came from, and then doing mini computers, Intel and AMD based, and then doing RPCs, we took all of that, combined it to make a DeFi protocol on PulseChain. And that's another unique thing about us. When you go to these other liquid staking protocols, well, you need to have the technical expertise, you need to have the hardware, but we give that to you for everyone. So that was the first challenge we had, which is supporting too many chains. We hyper focus, and then we chose PulseChain. One of the biggest challenges was, honestly, you can look at it as a challenge, but I feel like Chris and I actually saw it as a blessing and a curse at the same time. Building in the bear market, right? Building the bear market, it made it so where we could hyper focus. There was not like shiny object syndrome where there's like so many things happen. Cryptocurrency going crazy, this project, that project, but because of that, again, we were fully bootstrapped. So we were literally, everything that was coming out of our pocket was going straight into the business. Sleepless nights, crying kids, a lot of personal issues, but we just kept it chugging, kept it going, kept it moving, and just doing what we can. And yeah, it's definitely been a journey, been a ride. And yeah, I would probably say those are the two biggest challenges, just building in the bear market, depending on how you look at it. And then just a lot of no's, but I would not let that, stop you guys. Just keep doing it. It's just a numbers game, right? You only need your first yes, but I would say those two biggest things for sure.
Well, watching you guys build along the way and being involved in projects myself in the background, first of all, as far as you guys have come far from when you started to where you are today, and how your product and the confidence you have in it and all that today is just proud of you guys for what you're doing. And then knowing what happens now in the dev world, it's just, man, the challenges of building on a new chain and and bridging and all these other things that are happening, and I can imagine staking protocols and validating protocols and trying to figure all that stuff out and making that all work within the code. It's like it had to be a headache. And hats off to you guys for still being together as a team, because that's the one thing that I noticed is that devs came and went. People, fell out, personal issues. Oh no, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to work with you. All this stuff that goes on in the back, because, these aren't formal companies. They're, a bunch of bros getting on the internet, trying to put stuff together, and, but you guys, and this may be where your strength comes from. You guys had the blockchain center and each other in front of each other. Like, you guys worked sitting next to each other, working on the computer. And I'm sure you did a lot of 2D stuff too, but you guys, you used the blockchain center to meet and work and develop. Do you think that had a lot to do with some of your success?
Yeah, I would say so. Before the blockchain center, it was either online events or very sporadic, where it's in hotels or some wishy-washy stuff. But I would say 100% the Atlanta Blockchain Center was like my second home, where we could educate, we can learn, we can grow, and most of all, we can build. Being a consumer is cool, but I like building things, building products, solving solutions, and, creating jobs, because that's what it is to be an entrepreneur. But 100%, Captain, you hit it right on the nail. I think if it wasn't for that, one, I may not have met Chris, maybe in the future, and two, ProjectPi may not have existed. So, hats off to the Atlanta Blockchain Center for sure, 100%.
Exactly. And when I saw that was something that really impressed me, because I hadn't seen that before. I've been in this space for many, many years, And everybody I've seen, hand off here, use Slack, use, Google, Docs and this and that, and everybody working together doing, Zoom meetings and whatnot. But I walked in the Atlanta Blockchain Center, and there was these two young men working on a project together. One guy sitting here, another guy sitting here, and they were typing away on the computers and working. And I'm like, see, that's something special, because I always, have been a big advocate, and that's why we do these events. That's why we put the PulseChain convention on, is that, we're going to be networking, and people are going to be meeting one another. People are going to be able to come up to you. And even though they've seen you, 10, 15, 20 times on different streams, talking to different people about your wares, being in front of Van, shaking his hand and talking to him and seeing that smile on his face and the confidence that he's putting out there, and his honesty and integrity, when you feel his energy face to face, is completely different than dealing with it in a 2D world. And, that's what's going to be important for us moving forward in the future, is all of us coming together, getting together, and working together. There's a lot of space for the 2D world, for Twitter, for all of these things. But there's something special that happens when we all come together and we meet and we, hugs, high fives, and handshakes,
Yo, no, 100%. I feel like last bull run, I think a lot of people kind of smarten up. There's a lot of anonymous founders, people just doing stuff and not knowing who it really was. But I feel like, not necessarily, but if I feel like we're not doxxed, who are you gonna put the blame on if something were to go arise? But we're fully doxxed, man. People know where we live, where we go. Like, we go to events. Like, we're not playing around. Chris and I have a humongous vision for ProjectPi, institutional grid. And I know a lot of people like to fight and bicker about centralization, decentralization, VCs, not VCs. But again, for me, myself, as CEO of ProjectPi, man, I'm working for you guys, man. We go out there to Washington, D.C., backed by Coinbase's Center Crypto Initiative, just, talking about the importance of cryptocurrency, specifically the blockchain technology and infrastructure. We go inside and outside the country, educating kids at universities, again, doing the same thing, educating them on the importance of blockchain, but specifically node infrastructure, and educating them on PulseChain, getting them onboarded and doing that kind of stuff. Me being the back end, talking to centralized exchanges, shaking hands, be like, hey, you ever PulseChain? Is that a problem? Got a lot of no's, but guess what, guys? I got some yeses. So again, we're cooking, we're doing what we do. We support Richard Hart because, we went out there, saw you at New York. That was super cool to meet new faces, right? I saw so many familiar faces, but it was really, really cool to meet new faces.
So how did you feel about that event? How did that go for you?
It went well. It went very well. There's a lot of people that I already had added on social media that I either didn't know who they were. I was like, oh man, it's finally nice to meet you in person. Good vibes, no weird energy. I think it was a great turnout. It was cool that I was able to go into the courtroom and kind of see the vibes and everything. Like, as much as what people see online and all the fighting, we came together. We came together as a unit. We did what we said we're going to do. We were very professional. We weren't, doing no weird stuff or, being a hooligan. But at the end of the day, I understand the game that has to be played. But again, I support PulseChain all the way. So,
yeah, I wanted to get your feeling on inside the courtroom. I went there. My expectations were, okay, this is going to be a very technical, kind of just a status quo kind of meeting where they were going to, one lawyer would pick up, say something, the other lawyer say something, the judge would say something, then they'd adjourn in about 20 minutes or whatever, and it was going to be just a technical kind of thing. But they got pretty deep, and they started, the judge actually was the one who deepened it, because she was asking lots of questions to everybody and expecting answers. What did you think about all that? Going there with the expectations you had, and then what happened? What was it? What was that like for you?
Honestly, my honest opinion, I was blown away. And I'll tell you why. like you said, the judge was very well prepared. I was really surprised because a lot of the stuff you see on TV is like, what are you talking about? But this lady, she was asking like questions, like actual legitimate questions, looking at the facts on both sides, defendant side and the SEC. We brought visuals. She didn't even look at it. She didn't even need it because she already did her
Yeah, she didn't
research.
look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what a G. And then the SEC, I felt like they were not prepared because they're just so used to just, I don't want to say getting softballs, but they're just so used to not getting these questions. They kind of stumbled a few times. And then one of them asked the ridiculous questions like, raise your hand if you're from. I'm like, why would you even do that or say that? Like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot
Like
at
you
that
don't know
point.
who's in the gallery. Like for
Yeah.
everybody, the question that one of the lawyers on the SEC side tried to be a smartass and make a joke, and the judge was asking, how do you know that U.S. investors were targeted and affected? And she was asking him a direct question, like, give me your evidence on how U.S. Citizens were targeted. And he goes, well, let's just ask the gallery behind us. And he it was one of those jokes that fell on like no laughter, right? Like he put that up there like he was going to get some kind of a snicker or her say something, and she really like just looked at him like, I'm not having any of that. Like it was like that was she said something like, I'm not even gonna address that or something like that, and it was like oof, like
And
he just got gut punched.
yeah, I mean, again, she was being professional, but imagine if she did, he would have looked very silly. Let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah. And she just kind of let him she let him know that she was disappointed with his little comment, but she didn't scold him. She was just like, I'm not even gonna, I'm not even gonna go there, and then Richard's lawyers every uh yeah, oh yeah, she said, I'd really rather not when he said ask the and then
Yeah.
but Richard's lawyers they were locked down and just they were dialed in. They knew what they were there to talk about. They had all the answers. There were a couple of things that like insider Hexicans could have like we were like, and we're always that way because we know every little detail of every little piece of this puzzle. There were a few things that we kind of wish that the lawyers would have hit on a little harder or they would have answered for, but just seeing her discovery, her discovering the fact that as they're trying to lambast and make Richard look bad, they she discovered that Richard raised $26 million for charity,
Yeah.
and that was like watching her realize that as they were like trying to make Richard look bad for buying a diamond and buying a Lamborghini, and then her telling them, what, now you're saying you want to tell this guy what to do with his money kind of thing. She was just like, and that was like falling bad. And then she's like looking through the paperwork and says, wait a minute, there's $26 million was raised for charity here. And they were like, yes, ma'am. Richard's lawyers. Yes, ma'am. There was a, $26 million raised for charity. And she was just like, you can almost see her like, this is the guy you're trying to make look like a bad dude. 26 million for charity. Really? Wow. And it just kept like little things like that just kept folding over and over and over on them. And they were on their heels the whole time and just looked like they were just getting just beat up in the alley. Right.
Yeah, and then exactly, and after the end, the SEC left, but we got to talk to them, we got to shake their hands, like they were very like, they were cool. Like, most lords you see in person, they're kind of like
Yeah.
standoffish on that. The exact opposite. They were human
Yeah.
beings like we are. So
Yeah. They were very cool. I introduced myself to a couple of them. They're like, oh, we know who you are, RG. How you doing? And I was like, oh, okay, nice. Good. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyway, it was cool. And they were really cool lawyers. Smart and held everything close to their chest, of course. But did come over and appreciate that we were all there, and that was cool that they appreciated that we were there. We couldn't get them to come speak. They were like, you know how lawyers are like, oh yeah, no, better not, you know. So yeah, SJ, let's go ahead and do that. So anyway, well, I'm glad that you made it and you were able to support, and you know, the 75 people that showed up there. It was really nice to see the room get full, the overflow room get full, everybody professional sitting there quiet watching, you know, and everybody just being as surprised as we were. I mean, everybody was just like, wow,
Yes.
whoa, wow, this was something to actually experience and be at. And I'm so bullish now because of all of it, because of the tides and the winds and which way they're blowing on all of our sales right now. It's gonna be something special this next couple of years, man. Everybody stand by because it's coming. Yeah, I know some of you were born in a bear market, but believe me, there is a bull, and this one that's coming, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. This one is gonna be big. Anyway, so this is the FN Hangout. We got to talk to Van about ProjectPi for a little bit. Now we're gonna open it up to everybody. So everybody, please feel free if you want to come in, talk to Van, want to just start up a whole new conversation, that's okay too. But he's here to answer direct questions and have a conversation with you about his project. And if you guys want, this is your chance. This is your chance, you know, versus getting on Twitter later and calling him a scammer or this or that or the other. You know, come on in now and ask him some questions. Get to know him. All right. So let's see if we got anybody that shows up. If not, we'll just chit chat for a little while. Oh, we got a wild SJ in here.
I enjoy Pi very much, and ProjectPi is my favorite. It's so great. I just wanted to say thank you for what you're building. The more I hear about it, and every time you speak on it, it just makes my heart happy. And I can see the passion in everything that you guys are doing, and what's another, like, the hype. Like, you're not just, you know, like, it's something I'm hyped about because seeing you guys work and seeing your passion for what you're doing hypes me up, and it's awesome. And I love the content. I mentioned in the comments that the content you put together, just the whole team, is really fun, and everyone's kind, and you're super involved, and I love it. Positive.
Yeah.
Positivity princess out.
Hey, did you throw the link up there for everybody?
It should be in the comments.
Yeah,
it's in the show description already, but let me put it in the comments if I didn't.
So again, like I said, everybody, this is your show. You come on and bring the questions, bring the conversation, and make it yours. This is a Hexican stream. It's always been that way. It's open to you guys. Come on in and share with us. Something I want to kind of go over real quick about ProjectPi. So, you know, when I first met these guys, gosh, it was a little over a year ago, right? Been over a year. You know, they were excited. They were kind of like they had a lot of different things going on. They were trying to get situated, and then obviously they focused in on their MVP, what they wanted to put out first. And of course, that was probably, you know, through the blockchain center, them all working together and having some mentorship around and whatnot. And I was fired up too about what I saw, because I think that validating and being part of it is super, super important. Because I remember, you know, back in 2014, when I finally read the Satoshi white paper and figured out what Bitcoin was all about, that it wasn't just a glorified PayPal, that there was something else going on here. I read about the mining, you know, and I started to dig into it, and I'm like, see, that makes you part of the system. That makes you own the monetary system. You own providing it to other people. You're an example to them also. And it proliferates from there because you can do it. Everybody else can do it. So I really dug that. And as validating came out for blockchains that are not proof of work, but proof of stake, I thought, no, that's the way to go. And then Ethereum was like 32 million Ethereum, or right. It's 32 million
32 ETH. 32
in
ETH for Ethereum, 32
ETH. Yeah, 32 ETH, 32 million in Pulse. That starts getting out of range for people once prices start moving, and so being able to participate in validation at a half the price of Pulse that everybody else is getting involved in, that's huge. That is huge because now everybody can participate at even the smaller levels, and
It's
what's
beautiful. The site, it's well done. It looks great. It's attractive. I want to click buttons. I like little bubbles moving around. It's very well done. I let and I know y'all have taken your time, and there's a lot going on with it, and I think that also speaks for something. I think that's important. It's good to not have rushed. I mean, we as Hexicans, PulseChains know, right? It takes time. So I'm grateful for projects that do this, that take their time, that get the data, get it figured out, testnet. Like, duh, yes, testnet. So smart.
Nice. Hey, Van, there's a question here that I know enough to get myself in trouble with this question, but I'm going to let you maybe help out and explain maybe why or why not. And you may or may not know the answer to this question, but this question said, couldn't validators use something like Flux, which is a decentralized AWS alternative, but so much cheaper?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Sure, you can. Again, there's multiple types of people who want to be a validator, right? So you have people who, yeah, you can use a cloud service, but again, a cloud is just someone's computer.
Oh,
There's
man,
some people.
I'm telling you, I worry about the cloud services though too.
Yeah, like there's some people, in perfect example, when we went to Vancouver, this lady's like, I want a validator, but I don't want the machine in my house. I'm like, great, we will either do it for you or we can do the cloud services. So yeah, to answer your question directly, if you want to have your own validator running, we can provide that. If you have your own validator, cool. All you need is your deposit JSON file you to upload. If you want to do cloud services, cool. We can host on our behalf. Or you can utilize our partner. Again, I'm very familiar with cloud services. With Flux, I believe, is $15, $20 a month. And there are other people who are charging a monthly fee. We have been in talks with All Nodes, and they only do $5 a month. So yeah, there's cons and pros to both. But if you are really all about decentralization, you would get a physical device, whether that's from us or your own. Or if you have a trusted cloud provider or you trust us, we'll host it on your behalf. Or you can go to any cloud provider, like you said, AWS, which again, they charge astronomical prices, $200, $300 a month, and all these other stuff. But yeah, great question. Keep the questions coming.
Real quick, and just also compliment you on this right here. Adding the tokens, those little widgets to add the tokens, that's just nice. That's always something I'm, just how do I find the contract address? Like, how do I get this in where I need it to? And having it laid out for me like that is nice. Very well designed website.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, done everything well. Okay. Yep. Let's see if we got any more questions in here. Hey, thanks for doing this. Hey, Chris, what's happening? Drix, what's up? Solid guys. You are too, Drix. You are too. People are talking about the steal of Icosa and P Icosa, E Icosa, Hedron, P Hedron. Oh, thanks for the updates, Melv, Tony. Everything is up right now, and it's good to see green candles. It's good to be here on a Friday night with green candles. I can tell you that much right now because look at Bitcoin 98.6. Oh, it's teasing us. It's just tickling that 100K, man. Just tickling it. All it's going to take is just one whale just to jump in and mash that price up real quick. It might take a little more than a whale. The whales are getting kind of worn out. A lot of them sold to BlackRock. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anything else you want to go over in the website here now that she's got it running?
Yeah, there's some stuff that I can talk about. So one thing that we're going to be doing, getting close to mainnet, is people like free tokens, right? So again, if you were not an early sticker, that's fine. But if you interact with our testnet, whether that's via validator, you can hit myself up or Chris on Telegram or Twitter or DM us, or liquid staking, we will be airdropping you some PPY tokens. So again, play around with it. It's very easy, very simple. It's not rocket science, guys. It's you clicking some buttons. Because again, we're for the community. We're a community-based driven company. It's all about community. Without community, there is no protocol, there is no ProjectPi, there is no ABC, there is no PulseChain. Likewise, again, we are still in our fundraising round. If you want to be a part of that, please let us know. You'll be getting the token at a discounted rate. And if you want to be a referrer, we will give you your own specialized referral link. And if someone does get into the private round, hey, more PPY. So again, we just want to give away PPY, guys.
Now, how many PPY did you say? Now, how many PPY were out there?
Yes, so the max supply is 314 million.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all in the tokenomics utilities. I'm going off my brain now. So for the node operators, it's going to be 98 million. For the airdrop, it's going to be 8 million, 9 million tokens. Actually, if you go to tokens and utilities, the third tab onto the left, you can kind of see all that. Yes, PPY is utility. It's a utility and governance token. What is the utility? Great question. One, you need it to validate on our protocol. Two, if you do have 100,000 PPY or more, you get the NFT to where if you stake it, you will get fees generated from our protocol. That's another utility. Three, some alpha that I did talk about on RH Max's stream. Again, we want to bring as much utility as possible. We're strategically talking to people to be partnered up to where PPY could potentially be a RWA or real world asset to where it's not a token that you just want, that you would need. And then likewise, on the governance side, you would need it for voting rights.
And the PPY that was rewarded for the early stakes, that PPY, does that have to be staked also, or does you just hold that as a liquid?
Well, it depends on the type of person you are. You either going to be a operator, an NFT staker, or a speculator. So the PPY you're going to get when we go on mainnet, you'll be able to do claim and transfer. You'll be able to claim all your PPY that you've gotten, and then your pulse that you did stake will be transferred to ST Pulse. So you'll be getting that yield, and you can always get it back. You need the PPY token to be a validator. You would need the PPY if you want to stake it to get that NFT to get additional yield from our protocol. And if you're just a speculator, you just want to hold the token just to see what it does.
Gotcha. I was actually looking at mine right now.
Mm-hmm. And one thing too, SJ, that you can do that people may not know of, if you go back to the hub, if you go on the bottom left, there's something called I want to say protocol analytics. So I see you're in our, I don't know if you can hear me, actually. I see you're in our docs. If you go back to the hub, the website that you're on, the Project Hub site. Yep, launch app on the top right. And then on the bottom left, we're the protocol stats on the bottom left. Again, guys, all of this stuff that you see is in-house. Because PulseChain is such a new chain, a lot of people don't support it yet. Again, I'm in talks with other different companies and protocols to support it. So we have to actually build our own in-house analytics dashboard. Sure, you can use Grafana or Flipside or whatever, but why not just use our own stuff? Like, we're a lean startup. That's another monthly fee we have to pay for. So this is a cool to just see everything. So again, we've been in testnet. This is testnet V2 for the ERC-4 integration. So, this is just everything looking at the total deposits, the Pi pools, the total, all that. You can kind of see, engage everything. And then on the top, you can go through other stuff for like liquid staking, Pi pools, TPY, early staking, NFTs, and about us. That's pretty cool. So yeah, this is something cool that Chris built out. And again, guys, he's cooking right now. So he is cooking. There's so much stuff that I want to say that I'm going to get myself in trouble. So I'm not going to say it, but just know, guys, it is going to be insane once we're going mainnet and rolling out all this cool stuff that we have for the community.
Now,
sweet.
So when you get started, you've got this vision that goes like this. It's like boom, we can do all of this. You know, we've got all of this. And then obviously when you start working, you're like, oh man, we'll never launch anything if we don't focus on something, right? And then you focus on something, you put it out, and then you start picking up the pieces of all the other things and start putting them into place and making them happen. I know that, programming and coding is challenging. The speed at which you guys and some of the other teams are moving, when I look at things that are being built on other EVMs, I don't see as much progress and innovation as I'm seeing here on PulseChain. Do you have an answer for that? Being a dev and being in all of this and what's going on, I've seen it from the outside. I know that's what's happening. I know that it's not all EVMs are equal, and PulseChain is something different because people are putting projects together quickly, efficiently, and they're making them run. What do you attribute that to? Is that what you're seeing? Am I off base or what?
I think it's all dependent on the individual. There are developers or coders who just simply fork it and launch it without doing anything. There are developers who fork it and reskin it and launch it. That's cool. And there's people like us where we don't just fork, we actually look and see not just the tokenomics, but how everything does on all these other EVM chains. You don't see things like buy and burns and burning mechanisms and all that. We have to do that. There is no liquid staking protocol that does that but us. So I think it just comes down to the individual. And there was the one reason why Chris and I and the team, and shout out to JB, a creative director, he's the GOAT, because, Chris and I have been building and coding and, doing it. And, we're basically wearing all the hats. And he kind of came in when we went to Vegas and pitched and started recording stuff. So like Chris and I can just hyper focus what we're doing, and he can tell the story through his vision. So JB, if you're watching it, shout out to you, brother. But yeah, honestly, it's just sacrifice, Captain. It's 18 hours a day, every single day for a year and a half, sacrificing everything, your health, your sleep, your relationships, your marriage. But at the end of the day, everything has happened for a reason. It's getting to the point where like everything is now smooth sailing. Obviously, once we do go on mainnet, there's going to be more challenges, but we're ready for that. Again, that's why I'll be taking our time. We don't want to just launch a half-assed product, because if you look at liquid staking protocols, they are managing or stake hundreds of millions, sometimes billions of dollars, and we don't want to be the ones where yes, we have such a beautiful product and it's so innovative and it's not working properly. That's why we've gone through 4 audits while in testnet, guys. So you got to remember that. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it just depends on the individual. And I just feel like looking at other chains, PulseChain is very innovative because it's so new. And the beautiful thing is success leaves clues. So we can take what other people have and put it and spin it into our own niche and our own tokenomics and our own thing that PulseChain does it to make it interesting.
Yeah. And because of the fees to launch, I think it makes it easier on a new team developing things that, where you may not have been able to really afford to throw it up on another EVM like Ethereum versus PulseChain. I've seen the prices on some of the launches get up there. Right on. Well, hey, anything? It looks like we've got like a Friday night where we don't have anybody popping in. So anything else you want to go over? We've been on for an hour. I don't want to keep banging.
It's been an hour so far. Wow, time flies when you have fun with Captain. Look, the only thing I can say to you guys is, look, thank you so much for the support. On it, again, we can't do it without you guys. It's been a hell of a journey, hell of a ride. I just want to thank Captain for having us and kind of mentoring us along the way from all the in-person events. Shout out to Marlon. Shout out to SJ. Shout out to everyone who is an early staker, everyone who's our testnet, everyone who's just interested to see what we're doing. Again, if you don't know what we're doing, what we're solving is capital inefficiency, to where you just have Pulse sitting in your wallet. What are you doing with it, guys? You can use our protocol, stake it. We give you back your funds, and now the funds that we gave you back, ST Pulse, is now gaining yield over time from the validators. People always ask, where's the yield coming from? The protocol itself, the validators. it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful ecosystem that we built, and we're just super excited. We're excited as you guys are going to mainnet. I promise you, we are. But again, we got to make sure we do everything right way, and just showing people, look, you guys can do it. And I see some people in chat. Yo, I know who that is. Antoni the Goat.
You see who else stepped in here?
Oh yeah. Oh yep, that's my co-founder right there, the maestro. Chris
he
himself,
stepped away from his
the
work.
wizard. Oh yeah, the wizard, the goat, literally the goat. He's an actual goat. Hex Fetty, what's up, bro? Yeah, again, thank you guys for supporting us. Once these audits are done, we'll do the countdown, go mainnet. But again, guys, if you like what we're doing, use our testnet, get some free PPY. If you're interested in what we're doing, again, come to the fundraising round. You get in at a lower price. We're building some awesome, cool shit, guys. Very innovative. Hasn't been done, and we chose PulseChain. The stuff we built does not exist, guys. Like, I don't know how I can beat that into you guys' head. When I'm talking to these VCs, when I'm talking to these node infrastructure companies, when I'm talking to these centralized exchanges that look like they're looking at me like I'm some type of alien. They're like, what? I'm like, yes, look at it. And they're like, wow. I'm like, sacrifice. People don't want to sacrifice. And I've heard your story before, RG. A lot of people don't know my story. I graduated high school, but I didn't go to college right away. I cleaned the toilets. I've done everything. Construction, sales, whatever you think, I've done it, guys. While all my peers were going through university, I was building up my soft skills. And then I went back to school because I didn't want to waste my time. I'm very efficient. I didn't want to have a degree that I'm not utilizing. So I worked, got my wife, got 3 beautiful kids, and then I went back to school. Finished a STEM degree in 3 years, which is very difficult to do, guys, because it's not just the typical 90 credits for a Bachelor of Art. It's 120. So I was maxing out. All my credit, as many credits you can have. And I was working at the same time. So for me, people see the dark in everything, being pessimistic. I was optimistic. When COVID happened, that was a blessing. Now I can work and go to school. So whatever you guys are going through, guys, just know, it's all about your thoughts, guys. Just manifest, build, execute, don't make excuses. And at the end of the day, we're all human. There's no one is special. We're all human. You all have our gifts. Just build. And just thank you for the support.
We all have the same 24 hours in each day. It's all about what you do with it, right?
Exactly.
We all got 24 hours. Yep. I remember that when I call it, schlepping metal, pushing iron. When I was moving machinery, I would work 12, 14, 16-hour days and just be physically destroyed. Like, get home, nothing was, after about 10, 15 years of it, my body was just like shutting down. But I knew that I was going to have to do that until I was 75 years old if I didn't find something else. If I didn't come home and learn something else, learn a different skill, learn sales, learn crypto, learn finance, learn all of these things that I did on the side after working those hard days of work, I would never be where I'm at today. It was a grind and then another grind. And sometimes that's what it takes. People say, oh, you got lucky, you're an overnight success. No, man. No. Hell no. I sacrificed my body, my time, my family's time. And when I got home and I had a little bit for them, I sacrificed that too, so that I can get ahead now and, spend all my time at home now and waiting for my son to get home from school. And, so we can hang out and, and rolling over instead of rolling out of bed, and going to bed when I want to, and, when I'm tired, and waking up when I'm ready to get up, that kind of stuff. And it's a long ways away from where I was, but it took a lot to get there. It was not an overnight success. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of grind. And, now here we are reaping the rewards of all that stuff. So I love your work ethic, man. I've always, I like you and your partner and what you guys are doing. That's why I'm so highly, behind you guys and can't wait to see how this all turns out.
Well said, Captain. Greatly appreciate you. And again, yeah, when people say, "Oh, you got lucky," no, that's when hard work meets opportunity. When that opportunity comes,
Yes.
you're ready because you were sacrificing, slaving. Like, oh man, I know exactly how you feel. And times 5, because don't know how old you are, but I'm only 29. I'll be 30 in a few months. But
Oof.
yeah, take sacrifice, guys. You just have to sacrifice. This short-term sacrifice will lead to long-term happiness. Don't. It's okay, guys. Delayed gratification, just like what Rich Hart taught us. Delayed gratification, guys.
Delayed gratification. That's it. Right on. Well, hey, real quick, I gotta one more thing I gotta do before we shut down and call it a night is Vegas, everybody. So whose code can we give away? Do you guys have a code? Did you guys get a code? No code?
No, we will look. No.
Okay. We might have to get you guys a code. Do we have a code, SJ? Somebody's code that we can put up versus mine? You there? You there? Huh? SJ?
I would refer people to contact their favorite content creator and ask.
Well, what about
Meg-
RH Max? He was in here earlier.
I
We
don't
got
think
his.
Max has one actually. There's several. There's several content creators who passed on it because they don't need the % off. You know.
Oh, well, it wasn't for
Just
them. It was for the people. It's for their peeps.
Well,
Anyway,
right. but-
okay. If you don't have a code, you could just RG3, right? RG3 is the code.
Yeah.
Okay, you can use RG3 code. So
Code
Vegas,
two.
everybody, go to PulseChainTour.com. Vegas is coming. We're going to have a hell of an event. We've got speakers from all over the place. We've got a golf tournament that is going to be rip roaring fun. I'm not a golfer, but I'm going to be on the golf course, hanging out and having fun because we every hole is going to be sponsored by another project. So the projects are going to have a hole that they sponsor. They're going to have some kind of fun game or something there. You can maybe even win some crypto or something at their hole, but everybody's going to do a little something different at their hole. Last year we had the ladies of Hex had a hole, the ladies hole they had over there. Maybe we'll have another one. I don't know.
Balls.
What's that?
We washed balls at the hole.
Yeah, you guys were washing everybody's balls at the
And I did a whole commercial in my sexy voice like this. Come to the ladies' hole. Come to the Hex ladies' hole. We'll wash your balls. It was great. No, it's gonna be a blast, y'all. Like I actually did not get to go on the golf course last time because it was so hot. I stayed inside the entire time working with Caleb.
It was scorching. But this time it won't because it's in March, and it's going to be a great weather in Vegas for the golf event, and then party time. The DJ and I are setting up the party as far as the room goes and all that. It's going to be double throwdown trick of the week. It's going to be good stuff, guys. So get to PulseChainTour.com. Use RG3 as the discount code. You get 10% off at this point. I think all the 15%.
Use the code DGen.
Or use the code DGen for the DGen Roundtable, DGen code. That'll work too. And then we're having a VIP event. If you want to participate in the VIP event, that's going to be dinners and a VIP room and all that kind of stuff, and probably some karaoke and hanging out with your influencer buddies and singing karaoke with them. But yeah, there it is. And the Pulse 369 conference. Pulse Conference 369 in Vegas, and you can get it all there. Oh, and then for those of you who are projects, we still have a few vendor booths left. So if you go down to the bottom there, I think it is, and you hit sponsorship options, and you see ProjectPi there. And that'll give you all of the different packages, all the golf packages and whatnot. But please reach out to Kaylin or SJ.
Emails, there's forms, like there's all sorts of.
Yeah, there's EJ. There's forms. Oh, there's Will coming in there saying RG3. Nah, use DGen. Use DGen as the code. Get your 10% off. But anyway, that's what's going on. Pulse 369 in Vegas is going to be a blast. We're going to have a good old time. We'll have another pitch fest there, and we're putting some more stuff on the docket too. So good times, everybody hanging out again, doing that networking thing. The value is in all of us coming together and strengthening our community, not weakening it. not using social media to go and pick fights with each other and bang on each other, but actually get in front of folks where, you know, shit talk is a lot less, and everybody's a little more cordial and serious and getting to know one another in person. So anyway, all right, everybody. Thanks, Van. Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate you. Sorry we didn't get a bunch of people coming in. Usually we got a good amount of people pop in, but tonight everybody must be out actually having a life. I appreciate that, folks. Made me proud that some of you are out there doing some real stuff. All right, my man. With great power comes great Hexicans. Yes, I like that better than what was that? Who was it? Is it? I tried to find where this quote came from, and it's like kind of BS. Voltaire or one of those philosophers or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, Will. All right, everybody, have a good one. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next week. And Van, congratulations, man. Let us know when you're launching, and we'll get you back on again once you guys launch.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see you guys. Take care.